Hey everybody, Black Phoenix here, just letting you guys know that we'll be starting a new weekly series that will air on Mondays. Basically what we're going to be doing is reviewing all the big technology headlines that interested me over the last week. Now like I said on my blog, I won't be going too in depth just for the purpose of not boring anyone or droning on too long, but I will leave links in the video description that will have articles if you want to look more in depthly for yourself. Also, feel free if you have your own opinions or just want to leave your 2 cents to be sure and leave a comment below the video. We're always looking for feedback, negative or positive. It's the only way we're going to get better, and we look forward to it. Well, that's enough of that. Let's jump right into the news that caught my eye over the last week. First up, we have the Apple developer site, which was a victim to a hacker, or intruder as Apple called it. That caused Apple to take the whole developer site down to protect against this problem in the future. Now last week Apple put up a status page that tracks which parts of the dev site are online and which parts are offline, and I've seen that more are online now than 2 weeks ago, so that's always good. This delay in developer services didn't affect me personally, although Apple did say those developers who had apps in the App Store set to expire would get an extension, and that your apps would still be in the App Store. Now I didn't see that they posted how long the extension will be, but I'm sure it'll be at least as long as it took them to get the entire site back up. Until then, this is the message you'll probably get. Next up, we have the 2013 Google Nexus 7, which I know everyone, including myself, is excited about. As an iPad user, the Nexus 7 from Google is the only other tablet I would even consider using. That being said, here's a look at the specs. It has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 1.5 GHz processor, so it's very speedy and snappy. It also has 2 gigs of onboard RAM. It has a 5 megapixel rear camera with a 1.2 megapixel front facing camera. Right now it comes in the 16 or 32 gigabyte models, costing $229 and $269 respectively. They are releasing a 64 gigabyte version with LTE shortly. They said that one's going to cost $349, I believe. So if you're in the market for a new tablet that rivals the iPad at a fraction of the cost, I would say look no further than the Google 2013 Nexus 7. In other Google news, as they seem to be dominating the headlines last week with their event, is the Google Chromecast. Now Google Chromecast is a USB drive sized device from Google that streams video directly to your TV from any device in your home. Whether it be Android, Apple, I'm not sure what else you guys have. Now I know you're wondering exactly what kind of content it streams, and over at Cult of Mac they've actually done the work for us. Chromecast also streams your Google browser tabs, so that's good. I know I use Google Chrome as my main browser, so that's a big thing for me. The most killer feature though is the fact that it costs $35. That's compared to an Apple TV or Roku, seems pretty low. It was actually such a killer feature that 4 hours after the release I went on Amazon to see if I could purchase one, and it was already sold out. So Google's doing pretty well for itself. Lastly, but certainly not least, is the Ubuntu Edge, which is crowdfunding on Indiegogo.com. Now this phone right now is just a concept phone. Unless they get funded the $32 million they're asking for, it won't be made unless it gets the $32 million, which I know seems like a lot, but for the time this video is being made, they actually had 7 million with 24 days left. So I mean, if you take a look at the specs, I can't see who wouldn't want this phone. They said it would have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM and a multi-core processor, 128 gigabytes of internal storage. I mean, that's crazy. That's what would sell me, you know, just that fact alone. It would also have a newer silicone anode technology battery, which is said to increase battery life. It's said to have dual LTE antennas for LTE in the US and when you're roaming in Europe. It would dual boot into Ubuntu or Android. The other killer feature is when docked, it would boot into a full desktop mode through HDMI. So it's basically a phone/computer on steroids. So if that sounds like something you'd want to check out, the Ubuntu Edge is on Indiegogo campaign, so I will link it below. So let's do a quick wrap up. Apple's dev site got hacked, so they're tightening the security. It's been down for 2 weeks. Google unveiled 2 new devices, the updated and upgraded Nexus 7 and a $35 video streaming device also known as the Google Chromecast. Also, if you want an impressively spec dual boot phone running Ubuntu and Android, check out the Indiegogo campaign on the Ubuntu Edge. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments below. See you guys next week with more news.